Gentlemen, good to see you all. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank
You
you.
too, Peter. There you
How
are.
you
Hey,
doing?
man.
Um, we'll get into this super quick. I mean, Olivier, I wanted to ask because, it's a lot of kind of like action right out the gate, after first episode specifically in this. So I'm wondering what it was like reading the action in the scripts and then actually seeing it kind of come to life and do it specifically for you.
Scary because I did audition for an acting part and I got in Canada and they told me you're going to train for 4 months because there's going to be a huge fight scene. And nice. And I was totally up for it, but it was, of course, I know it was going to be a fight, but not this big. So we had 4 months of preparation for it, a lot of dieting with the proteins and recovering, and 4 hours per day of training. I had to get myself to the physical abilities of Reacher. You have seen him fight in season 1 and 2. That's not easy, especially not as a giant with a lot of weight. And I think we pulled it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike, it's interesting, right? Because, you look at something like this show, and one of the things I love is I love the conversations with your characters and like and Alan with Reacher and everything, but then the action. How do you balance like those type of like being on a show that has both those specific scenes? You have the setup, the kind of like, all right, this is the mission, and then you actually have all the action. Like, what's that like for you? Is it fun? Is it fun specifically?
Well, obviously, a lot of the action was in Alan's hands and the great work
Yeah.
Olivier did. For me, with this role, I really enjoyed it, because I think when you play a villain, just in general, I try to give options to the creators of a show or a film. So it was really great knowing that there was a wide latitude, I had latitude and range within this performance. And so I was playing with that and kind of modulating that. And I would check in and speak to Nick about that often. So, it's important to keep the audiences guessing, and audiences are always like right there and they know what's going on. But I think there's also an element of deception and interesting. There's levels to this story in this season for all of us.
Yeah.
So again, we had all 8 scripts from the outset, thanks to Nick and his prolific team. So we kind of knew where we were going. But then again, you want to mix it up so you don't repeat yourself, hopefully, and you present alternatives, for the editing team and Nick.
Absolutely. And last question for you, Brian. Brian, good to see you, by the way.
You too,
I,
man.
I did want to kind of ask because I know from an acting perspective, you try not to do this, but given that this is a show like Reacher, that the audience is on the edge of their seat, the action, figuring out everything, the twists and turns, are you ever conscious of the audience member watching Reacher while you're making it? Or is that something that you kind of think about a little bit after you wrap specifically?
I think when you're going through the scripts for sure, and you're breaking down certain scenes, as an audience member yourself, you're constantly trying to figure that out. You're constantly trying to take that journey with them. But once you're in the character, you throw that all away.
Yeah.
I think it's really trying to embody that character and be truthful to it. And I think that's what everyone loves about this show. Yes, it's actiony. Yes, it's, like a popcorn driven, very, very obviously popular type of show, but it's that sense of belief. Because I think it starts with Nick Santorum in his writing style, that it's all very grounded, grounded in this sense of reality. And even as villains, as larger than life as we are, it is still distinctly grounded. And that's what I think audiences come back to more and more and more.
I don't know who told you that, but I indeed did have popcorn while I watched season 3.
There you go. There you go.
So it's
Great,
perfect,
man.
and I can't wait for people to check out season 3 of Reacher on Prime Video. It was an honor and privilege to speak with all of you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.